We're still fighting for our 40 acres and a mule that I suggested as my multicultural race, which includes black. Whether you want to label that as African or Jamaican, it doesn't matter, I have both. Okay? But yes, we still want our 40 acres. And we want our mule too. But in our sense, in today's world, 40 acres doesn't get us as far as a skyscraper does and a whole bunch of automobiles. So if we could designate that to one area, and I've done showed you how we could do it by making you money, and you say no, that's the reason why your fucking goddamn fucking world is in debt. China's gonna back me on every opportunity that I'm gonna make for them. They're the biggest population, which means their money should amount to the least amount. So, for their 100th of a penny item, we would pay a penny for it. And then we would sell it for $1, so that everybody's making a 100% increase. Now, there's people that have a smaller population than us. So what do we do for them? We make it a bigger available source that when they buy it to us, they could outsource it for more money too. That's why I say you gotta watch your minimum wages. Okay? And the best thing that we could do is put everybody on a fucking tax return basis at the end of every month so that it helps includes extra funds monthly rather than having to go through welfare funds. The next thing to implement is, your smaller minimum wage. What we want to work out is 10% goes to tax. And we're not paying you to pay tax. So if at cost it costs you 1 cent and you sell it for a penny, we're only paying the tax of the penny that it cost you. We're only paying the tax. We're not paying you to pay tax. That's what we call embezzlement through British Nation. And the British Nation has taught us that through our Shawnee Nation. And we are in control over you. We do hold power over you. Simply because you don't know how to hold power. And the right reason. I don't know what else more to do with y'all since you don't want to listen. I've given you every opportunity for years and years to listen. Now, a lot of people must die because you killed a lot of people just by making the wrong choices and denying the fact that you got to spend $1 to make $1. But how could I sit here and make you all money, make myself money, and make the whole entire nation money? This isn't just a depiction of what's going to happen right now with regular homelessness. I need to fucking make a means that are sufficient enough for something like a COVID homeless population of 10 million. It could be 20 million. We have 300 million people here. Okay? We don't even have 200 million jobs. So you're looking at an impossibility almost. Even if they're all part-time jobs and that supplies enough work for everybody, it doesn't supply enough money. So we want to work on a percentage. 10% of our money goes towards tax. If we only make $1, you only get 10 cents. But that other 10% of our money, which would be 10 cents, that needs to be able to afford for one single person one of the nicest single bedroom homes with all the utilities included and our food and our bills, whether we want fucking HBO or whatever the fuck it is. The rest of the 80% is our free money. Now, we're open to doing a tax basis off of that. If we buy stuff, we will pay the tax for it, but we're not going to overprice the tax. If you bought that TV for $100 in bulk buy and you resell it for $300 because that's what it's worth, I'm not paying 3 times the tax. Okay? That right there is America stealing tax money from the British. And I don't understand how the British could be such a bitch to let that go on when I won't even allow that to go on. Well, it helps with your funding. No, it helps with their pocketbooks, and I'll show you why. I've printed it. Go to the beginning of my videos, and I'll show you how I could take $10 off of everybody's state funding, return them with a coupon for 10% off a $100 purchase or more, which ends up giving them $10, which ends up giving the store another $10, which ends up giving the government, I don't even know how much fucking money in extra tax money, just because I decided not to take my funding, but rather instead take $10 off of everybody else's funding. Now, what do I do with that funding? Well, I'm making $2 billion a month. Promised funding from the government. So, $1,000 of them, if I could make a deal and get $500,000 hotels that got 300 rooms or more, I can dedicate 1,000 of those motels to straight homelessness and 1,000 motels to veterans or people that are want to be like-minded military, because there's a lot of guys that just enjoy to live in that space. That is their comfort zone. And that's just in 1 month. The next month, I still have enough money rolling in to pay the bills. And even if I give away the food for free, I'm giving away $1 billion in food for free. But I'm guaranteed that $1 billion the next month. And everybody still has their EBT. So they're going to spend their EBT at my store, which means I'm going to make a profit. And I could just recycle that EBT. I could recycle that EBT. But then you go into a partnered EBT and unpartnered EBT. Partnered EBT means that you get your regular 200 funds and you could come get a room at my motel. But with that $200, that's your monthly rent. I take all of it. Which sounds crazy, you don't have no money to spend, but now you have 2 other hotel rooms to rent out, including your 3rd room at the top. So whatever you make off of those rooms each month, you're partnered in as a business owner. I'm sitting there teaching you how to make profit. To give up $200, you're going to end up probably making close to at least $1,000. But we still got to make sure bills are paid. Okay, if you're partnered in with it, you got to be partnered in with it. But if you're partnered in with the fucking motel, you're also partnered in with the grocery store. And that's why we were able to give EBT discounts. Now I want to work everything off of the hypotenuse theorem, meaning I don't want to give people a discount, I want to give people a rebate. A discount just allows people to overspend and still spend their money, and then their food ends up going bad. I want them to be able to spend all of their money and get half of it back within like an hour or 2, so that you could never spend all of your money. There's always, even if it gets down to 50 cents or whatever little amount it gets down to, still something. So the unpartnered EBT members, they get $6 in EBT and $6 in cash. But every item that's on the list that costs $1 only costs you 1 penny. Because in China, a hundredth of a penny is a huge profit to them now. So when we pay them a penny for it, they made a lot of money off of it, and we didn't lose any. Now, the military helps overfund that because they get more money through Social Security and stuff like that, and they may not want to be partnered in with, a room like that. I'm not sure. I don't want to live under certain housing rules where there's so many problems. If we have people that have a problem with crack smoking or whatever like that, then yeah, I think we could be able to dedicate a motel that's centered around that basis. Is it going to be a problem? Yes, of course it is. But we still got to allow the people their freedom so that people can see how bad it can get. Stop telling them the fear like it's Bigfoot so that they go looking for it. Let them find it. I told you how I can give you this much money to take this much money to be able to do this each month. Actually, what I'm doing is the $2 billion that I'm spending each month buying motel rooms or motels and turning them into grocery stores and then turning them into a church, where on that church I make collections. I also open up the parking lot as a car lot, like a valet, like a car-to-go type situation, where you rent one of the rooms and it comes with a car rental. If you live there full-time, then you have a full-time car rental. And if you pay the full thing off, basically, then yeah, you paid the full thing off. I'm able to do that because I have so much money in one form. Now, when I start taking people's 200 and 200 in food, 200 cash, 200 in food, which is the minimal, that leaves me in a monthly payment of $2 trillion. That's a lot of money for somebody. Monthly, $2 trillion monthly, that's a lot. But I've already got rid of all the housing agencies that you need. I've gotten rid of all the EBT funding that you pretty much need. Well, at least fucking 98% of it, because of the unpartnership of giving them $6. You get 6 times as much with $6 than you do with $200. A dollar item at $200 only gets you 200 items. A penny item with $6 gets you 600, which is 3 times as much. But I do it on a rebate process, so you get your money back. That $6 is really like 12. But I'm just basically giving you back your EBT to spend again. Why? Because I'm making enough profit to be able to do that. It's like a coupon. And that's the first way that we start it, is instead of me taking my funding for EBT or whatever, we spend that money going to the stores and saying, we're going to give you guys this, not for food, but we want to be able to have coupons because we want to take $10 off of everybody's EBT, but we don't really want to make them lose any money. And we don't want you to lose any money as a business. So this kid is willing to sacrifice his money so that we could do this, so that he can take this money to be able to get rid of the future homelessness that could occur. If we did have another pandemic, COVID wasn't that bad. We might be looking at 100 million people that are homeless and 200 million people that are dead. We don't know, but I know how we can fix that. I know how to fix that. Mathematically and all that kind of stuff, I know how to fix it. But I can't do it by myself. I'm not that egotistical where I'm like, I'm the one I'm going to do that. No, I need people that got advice too. I've got all the mathematician advice sitting right there, but it's hard to trust somebody that's marketing my fucking money when I can't even trust my government to. Look, you're spending $17 trillion in housing when I could take less than that just out of the EBT food, give people money, and make a bigger difference than you did. That's why when you're spending the $16 trillion a year on housing, I want that now. I want that just as a backup. Okay? And that's not a backup of, well, if things fail, it's, no, we have enough housing here to take in refugees if we don't have that big of a homeless population. And then now we could outsource into other countries, creating, like what ISIS did, hospitals and stuff like that. Okay? Because the way you're doing things right now is fucking ridiculous. I can't go to a church and get a night's sleep for free, even though I've donated to that church. That's fucking ridiculous. Okay? A church was supposed to be a place of sanctuary. You can't even go there and sleep on a fucking goddamn bench in there because they're so nervous about people. You don't trust nobody, bro. You have no faith in nobody. So why would I even want to enjoy your church? Your church is a bunch of bullshit. And I'm not even classifying Christianity or any of that. I'm just saying the sense of you guys wanting to use God is you use it in a sense to pray for riches in the world rather than all the rich people that are sitting right in front of you in the first place. You don't even acknowledge them. We're over here speaking about God when I see all these beautiful people like Moses and Noah and Jesus, and I even see God out there. I see, pay attention to the people that are sitting in your audience and you'll start to realize how real that book is, because you can't see how real that book is until you start to see how real the factual matter is, that you got basically a virtual hologram sitting right in front of you of who those outspoken people were in a spiritual term.